Hey guys, I'm Silverwolf. I'm back from vacation. I picked up a cold while I was away, which is why my voice is a bit croaky. It's not COVID, we were tested. My boyfriend got this cold and passed it on to me, so I've got a bit of a sore throat at the moment, so bear with me. So I'm back. We had a great time. We went to loads of places, including the zoo, and we went to see some of his friends and some of my friends. So yeah, it was good. So we're back on with the videos again. I have a load of shout outs. They go to Honey Angel, Lindsay Lacey, NEC North Carolina, The Girly Girl Gamers, Sir Jonathan O'Donoghue and the Shining Stars, Irish Wristwatch I Won, Postman Pat Fanboy 1994, Highest Score 2 for the Good of You 7, and Ken's. And this video today is a request from Wahoo Mario, who wanted to see the new additions to each Furby that was released. So I'm going to go through each generation of Furbies, and I'm going to just say what new things they added to the new sort of generation of Furbies. So we start off with the 90s Furby. Obviously it's one of the most popular and the oldest. They have 3 touch sensors, and they are in their belly, on their back and in their mouth. They also have a tilt sensor, so they know when they're being picked up. And they're quite noisy. Well, the mechanics in them are quite noisy. And the ears move, the eyes move, and they rock back and forward, and the mouth moves as well. So that's the 98 Furby. Then they introduced some years later the Baby Furby. It was about the same. The only new thing that they introduced really was the baby personality. So it always stays a baby, as opposed to when you first get the adult Furby. The first personality it wakes up with is classed as baby, but the Baby Furby always stays with the baby personality, and it slowly learns English over time. But all the sensors and everything else on it are the same. Then in 2005 they released the 2005 Furby and 2006 Funky Furby, which this one is. They still had the belly sensor, the back sensor and the mouth sensor. The eyes still open and close, the ears still move. They no longer rock backwards and forwards. You can still feed them by pressing down on their tongue, which is another sensor of course. And they still had the motion sensor, so if you pick them up they would know. But they were a lot bigger, and I suppose for kids easier to hold as well. And if you're a small child, probably easier to give a cuddle to, and they were softer. They also did a baby version of these ones. The babies have a belly sensor. I think they have a back sensor. It's hard to tell because they're so miserable all the time. They also have a mouth sensor as well. Their eyes open and close. They don't really move at all, except to sort of rock back and forth. They usually end up falling over. And they cry a lot and want to sleep a lot. And I think that, to be honest, the personalities aren't quite as cute as the other ones. They tried to do it as a newborn baby, and newborn babies don't do much. So if you wanted play value in the toy, you should probably have made it perhaps more like the Baby 98 Furby, which actually speaks more, interacts more, and whatever. The baby the Baby 2005 Furbies were kind of limited. A few years went by, and in 2012 they brought out a new Furby. These Furbies no longer tilt backwards and forwards. They kind of have a rounded base, so that when they move they kind of rock. They have movement in the middle of them instead, and their ears, eyes and mouth still move. They still have the belly and back sensor and the mouth sensor as well. And instead of having one personality and learning English, they have about 5 personalities, and they can change according to how you treat the Furby. They also, as well, have a tail sensor, so if you pull the tail, the Furby knows about it and doesn't like it, or likes it, whichever. I think that the tail sensor became a way also to turn them off as well. These ones were quite soft, and they had improved the material on them too. They no longer had the infrared. They communicated to each other via very high-pitched sort of clicking sounds, which is how they talk to each other. And they also had LED eyes. Then they brought out the Furby Boom. Furby Boom was pretty much the same, except its personality chip had different personalities in. Still had the LED eyes and all the same ways to move as well. This became their sort of template for all the Furbies they released after. Next, Furbacker. Furbacker only had one personality, and it was of Chewbacca from Star Wars. It was released in conjunction with the new Star Wars film at the time. Again, all the same sort of movement and everything. It was exactly the same as the others, except the personality chip was Furbacker. Then they released the Furby Boom Crystal, also known as the Furby Crystal series. Again, the same. They were literally Furby Booms, only with different coloured fur, and like the eye plates were sort of crystal effect as well. Again, with the changing personalities. And then finally, I'm going to have to move the camera a bit back for him. The Furby Connect. The Furby Connect, they kept the same kind of movements and everything. They introduced an aerial for its head, which you can use to put it to sleep, or the sleep mask that came with it. The proportions of the Furby's face and ears were slightly different. They also had rubber non-slip feet so that the Furby was less likely to fall off the table. The movement in them was the same, and if you pull the tail with these guys, they fart. You can't put them to sleep by holding onto their tail for 10 seconds. The Furby Connect also communicated with other Furbies via Bluetooth instead of the high-pitched clicks, which was quite a nice sort of cutting-edge thing at the time, and it had its own app, like the Furby 2012 onwards, to interact with. The Furby Connect app I thought was quite good. It had a movie theatre that updated each week with a new sort of little mini film, so that the Furby Connect could download new kind of aspects to its personality. Its personality didn't change, it didn't learn English. They seem to have scrapped the whole English thing, which was, I think, what made Furby so popular in the first place. I think if they do another Furby, they should bring back the ability to learn English, because it was just fun. Sorry about my terrible throat this morning. I really do hate sore throats. I don't think there's anyone out there who goes, "Yay, I've got a sore throat, I'm ill." Yeah, it's affected how I talk a little bit. So that's the new things that were introduced with each generation of Furby. So it's interesting that the oldest and the newest are quite far apart in that respect. The Connect also had the first colour LED eyes, as opposed to black and white, like its predecessors. Due to the LEDs and stuff, all of the most recent Furbies tend to go through batteries faster than the originals. So that's all for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry again about my voice. I don't know why I keep apologising, I can't help it, but it's a bit embarrassing for me because I want you all to sort of clearly be able to hear what I'm saying. So if you want to see more Furby videos, you can click either of the boxes down below. Also feel free to check out my Etsy and New Monday stores, links are in the description, or you can buy me a coffee on Ko-fi. All the tips help, and they help me keep my channel up and live, to be honest, because I work from home. So stay safe, stay healthy, and keep being awesome. This is Silver signing off.